And the start of the school year is now less than a week away for CCSD. It's Monday with students returning to class. The people charged with keeping kids safe are getting ready too. Tonight, Fox 5 heard from officers and volunteers. Kim Passoff joins us live now with their plans. Kim?
Yeah, tonight Metro officers met with CCSD PD officers to talk strategy as the new school year begins, how to keep kids safe.
Just remember, we have over 300,000 students that are going to
The first Tuesday of every month, Metro welcomes the public to learn more about what they do. This event at the Bolden Area Command focused on back to school.
We're all here to help, and we want to make sure that we're present. We'll have officers at schools around the area. We want everyone to feel safe.
CCSD PD officers brought in Peppermint, a canine trained to find weapons in schools, one of 4 gun detection dogs used by CCSD police. Last year, 30 firearms were found on CCSD campuses. Brandon Clarkson with Metro says school safety must begin at home.
As parents, you need to have conversations with your kids, make sure that any weapons are secured and locked up.
It absolutely makes a difference when our volunteers are deployed on a school campus.
Dads in Schools, a volunteer group of dads and other adults formed to keep kids in CCSD safe, says adults simply being there with the kids cuts down on violence.
In certain schools where there had been several fights throughout the cafeteria, and there was 0 fights last year because of our presence.
This school year, 145 CCSD schools have asked dads in schools for volunteers. Currently, they do not have enough to make that happen. They are hoping people will step up.
Part of the solution and make sure that those children, elementary, middle, and high school, are safe, and make sure those teachers know that we care about them also.
So volunteers must go through training and through a background check. We have a link to sign up or to learn more on our website. That is fox5vegas.com. Reporting live tonight, Kim Passoff, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.